So because I've had a total of 2 months to experiment with pure DHT, okay, boys, this is the real stuff. Actual raw DHT powder. I have a lot to report. What I want to make this video not about is my reporting of my experience, but about specifically the enhancement of orgasm quality with the use of exogenous DHT, which should lend us to think about the critical relevance of dihydrotestosterone in the maintenance and the optimization of the whole CLIMAX dynamic. Again, look, I'm going to do my damnedest to dispel the myths that dihydrotestosterone is irrelevant for adult males, especially in the context of TRT, because what I found is that you could be on TRT with double the reference range of DHT, but take exogenous dihydrotestosterone and get massive orgasm, among other benefits. Bottom line is this. Number one, DHT enhances orgasm quality. Number two, DHT enhances semen concentration a lot. And number three, DHT enhances ejaculatory reflexes. On top of obviously enhancing erectile quality, because DHT is the main penile androgen responsible for the maintenance of erectile function in males, it really supercharges the CLIMAX system. On products, look, the Torque Nootropic Stack, which is basically Adderall without the side effects. It's a nootropic stack that I built personally. Is 35% off. Code for that is down in the description of this video. You're going to want to buy a bottle and try it. It is awesome. Secondarily, the world's first compilation of trusted sources for anabolics, ancillaries, and hormone hacking agents called Sourceless has officially launched, and you get that down in the description of this video or live now at livecortex.com. And thirdly, I'm one of the world's most sought out consultants and coaches on TRT protocol redesign, sexual optimization, libido, and erectile function restoration. And you can hire me for any number of the packages that we have in under a minute at livecortex.com or down below. All right, so I have dosed 5 milligrams sublingual DHT, 10 milligrams sublingual DHT, 30 milligrams sublingual DHT, 50 milligrams oral DHT, 75 milligrams oral DHT, 100 milligrams oral DHT, 180 milligrams oral DHT, up to 200 milligrams. This is the highest that I went on my run of using DHT powder of raw, pure DHT. And I've explained some of the effects before in erectile quality, semen concentration, orgasm enhancement, but specifically I want to focus on how it made my climaxes crazy. And here's the important thing. I'm on exogenous hormones with a dialed in protocol with HCG, and it made my orgasm, my climax sensation much fucking better. And interestingly, since my last 200 milligram dose, which was 5 days ago, the positive effects on ejaculate concentration and orgasm quality have maintained. They're still here 5 days after this large dose. Did I just make some large scale permanent change in the functionality of the seminal vesicles and semen concentration and orgasm quality? Let's explore. Let's start with the seminal vesicles, and I'm going to tie in how critically relevant DHT is and the seminal vesicles are for ejaculate concentration. Seminal vesicles are, it's like this little brain looking thing, if you can see where my pointer is, just behind your bladder. The seminal vesicles contain a high degree of 5-alpha reductase, which is what, is used to metabolize testosterone into dihydrotestosterone. What I would argue is that on TRT, there's some degree of shutdown of the function of the seminal vesicles, even in the presence of HCG, which is why DHT is very important. This is a paper that is titled Relationship of Seminal Plasma Testosterone and Dihydrotestosterone to Sperm Count and Motility in Man. In this study, they found that men who were azoospermic, which means there's no actual sperm in their ejaculate, had significantly lower levels of dihydrotestosterone. You're going to find on the web that decreases in seminal plasma androgens, so androgens in the seminal vesicles, particularly DHT. So you have less DHT in the seminal vesicles, they're related to both decreases in sperm production and sperm motility. Now, this of course makes sense because my use of exogenous DHT dramatically increased my ejaculate size. And I mean like shooting ropes. I mean porn star level loads. Like, I guess it's sort of TMI and I don't want to be crass here, but the level of ejaculate is out of this fucking world. It is nothing that HCG or probably even recombinant FSH can even come close to touching. And it's like, I don't know, man, it's kind of excessive. So if you're able to get your hands on, which source list, bottom right, bottom left, whichever you're looking at over here. Raw exogenous DHT, you're going to improve your semen concentration. You're going to improve the ejaculate volume. It is not peculiar to me that people that suffer from sexual dysfunction from finasteride and from SSRIs have both a lack of actual genital sensation and a lack of orgasm quality. And through tons of research, self-experimentation, working with clients, truly trying to get down to the bottom specifically of that problem, I can confidently say that whether it's 80%, 85%, 90%, potentially 100%, DHT itself is the largest contributor to the resolution of climax quality and climax sensation problems, as well as obviously ejaculate volume problems in people with sexual dysfunction. And this also means that the entirety of the climax system, including climax sensation, gets optimized in regular people that have normal levels of serum DHT, myself as a perfect example with double the reference range DHT when you use exogenous DHT. I'm going to take us to a paper titled Contribution of Dihydrotestosterone to Male Sexual Behavior, in which they state a very relevant sentence, which goes like this: serum dihydrotestosterone concentration was the only independent hormone predictor of the frequency in orgasms. Meaning it wasn't testosterone levels, it wasn't estradiol being low or high, it wasn't like adequate testicular function, it was DHT, okay? DHT itself that predicted the frequency of male orgasms, likely because there was more genital sensation, better erections, and ultimately better climax quality. And I think to actually find an actual mechanism for this, which is very difficult to do in the literature, we have to ask AI, which is able to scour all pieces of literature across the web in under a second. For those of you that I've been in the past regarding DHT and my position on it versus Hair Cafe's position, there was like some idiots in the comment going, oh, you asked AI about it. Well, remember, ChatGPT specifically has access to all the studies. In fact, if you ask it to source and cite the studies it's referencing, it will give you links to the Oxford Journal, Harvard journals, various PubMed pieces of literature. It's referencing journals, guys. Asking it, explain the role of DHT in the sensation of a male climax. I think the critical relevant part here is number 3, which is orgasm sensation. During climax, DHT is thought to enhance the sensitivity of nerve endings in the genital area. This heightened sensitivity contributes to the overall intensity of the orgasm experience with, like, I mean, look, there are some other people out there, I think namely Vigorous Steve, who've been using exogenous DHT, but there aren't many YouTubers out there that have taken raw pure powder DHT and been able to report on it. And I'm here to do that. DHT itself, again, in the presence of supraphysiologic levels of DHT running very high levels of testosterone, which you would think would do all these things, DHT itself added a major noticeable benefit of orgasm quality, semen concentration, and ejaculatory reflexes. Let's talk about orgasm quality. So like, you know, when a climax is coming for a male, it tends to sort of build up. You feel it probably in the 10 to 15 seconds prior to the ultimate ejaculation. And, you know, that state is ridden with very powerful fucking feelings that kind of originate, you know, in the whole genital area, but you sometimes maybe you can feel it like in the lower part of your abdomen. You kind of just sort of feel it everywhere. Obviously, you're feeling it to some extent in your brain. In the presence of especially high doses, guys, high doses of exogenous DHT, that feeling, it starts at about the same time, but it builds up much quicker and it is much more powerful to the point where it somewhat takes over your body. Now, this is maybe a little TMI, or I'm getting a little crass here, but if you've ever been around a female or given a female an orgasm that is it shakes her whole fucking body to the point where she's just like completely out of control, and she relinquishes her like normal like etiquette or control over her body, like she just loses all control and convulses and shakes and starts making fucking funny noises. With exogenous DHT, you have those level of climaxes. I mean, it's completely out of control. I got the most powerful orgasm enhancing quality on what was too high of a dose of DHT of 200 milligrams. In very rare cases would you want to be dosing an entire 200 milligrams of exogenous DHT. There really just isn't a need for it, and too much could be counterproductive, especially as it relates to blocking the genetic expression of estradiol. However, After what was the day prior 180 milligrams and then the next day 200 milligrams of exogenous DHT as an experimental, this was 5 days ago, my orgasm quality has remained after 5 days of not using DHT. Literally insane. The semen concentration, again, I dose high doses of HCG, 500 IU every other day. Sometimes I'll just run 1,000 just to kind of, because I feel like I might need to keep up with the system one way or the other. I'm noticing that I might need to inject a little more HCG. It's an intuitive thing. And so the semen concentration has been fine, but it is significantly more. If I would give it a percentage, it's probably 40 to 50% larger, okay, larger and thicker than normal. Ejaculatory reflex, okay, this is effectively like how much of a pump fashion that your ejaculate comes out in, right? It could, for guys that have serious sexual dysfunction, it kind of just oozes out and it's really not a pump action where it sort of maybe squirts out a bit. DHT like has enhanced my personal ejaculatory reflex, and I would wager would do the same in other people so substantially that it is a completely different thing. Whereas it would shoot out before, like, and it was just like normal. Whereas now it just pumps out very, very heavily and very strongly. And the reflex itself is a lot stronger. Now, does one have to take 200 milligrams of exogenous DHT powder in order to achieve these results? The answer, in my opinion and experience, is no. I got similar results, although not quite as powerful, with 30 to 50 milligrams of oral exogenous DHT. However, those smaller oral doses of DHT did not produce a profound sustained effect in both orgasm quality, semen concentration, and ejaculatory reflexes. This bolus 200 milligram dose for me at day 5 still is producing that. So like, did I optimize the seminal vesicles and genital nerve endings in a way which is more longer lasting by mega dosing exogenous DHT? I don't know, but it's an interesting question to pose for us to think about, specifically for people that have sexual dysfunction, okay? Anybody that has any degree of anorgasmia, genital numbing, penile anesthesia, you guys need to run as fast as you can to get your hands on exogenous DHT. You're not going to be able to produce this effect with the use of exogenous testosterone because you would need DHT concentrations far and beyond double the top of the reference range. I mean, you would need to be mega super physiologic in order to reach this. I now fully understand in my consulting practice that any degree of guys that I work with PFS, PSSD, or otherwise sexual dysfunction that are having climax issues, both climax sensation issues and ejaculate volume issues, as well as ejaculatory reflex issues, DHT is a must in their protocol. We will not take DHT. It has to happen if that system's going to be optimized. I think one major point of this video is like, we have always thought, or we've at least referenced HCG as the predominant driver of sensation and orgasm quality for men that are on exogenous hormones. But, I've also contended that one of the reasons that HCG optimizes that system is via optimizing DHT specifically in the testicles. But I can now confidently say that the biggest contributor to genital sensation, to orgasm quality, to semen concentration and ejaculatory reflexes is dihydrotestosterone. And if anybody's curious about it, or if anyone thinks they want to debunk that, yeah, go get some oral DHT, start taking it. And I think then without question, said person would cross over to the other side, recognizing the critical significance of DHT on the male climax dynamic. If you've got pretty high levels of DHT, whether you're on exogenous androgens or not, but you're having issues with climax sensation, ejaculate volume, even if you're on human chorionic gonadotropin and like everything on paper looks good, including your serum DHT, what I've come to learn in this experiment backed up by the research is that exogenous DHT is a completely different animal in this situation, and that it will optimize that system, perhaps semi-permanently, or perhaps with the potential for an every 5 to 7 day bolus dose of dihydrotestosterone, which is pretty low maintenance actually. Every 5 to 7 days, you dose 100 to 200 milligrams of DHT. The system is incredible for 7 to 14 to 21 days. I really don't know how long it's going to last. I'll have to sort of keep my own eye on what's happening with me relative to orgasm sensation and ejaculate volume. But I can say even being on cycle, which for me equals more suppression of the testicles via suppression of the HPTA, that I've had a consistent increase in all these orgasm quality markers from the bolus use of mega dosing of DHT. And in addition to making the point that DHT enhances all these things in general, I wanted to infuse my experience so that you guys understand, like, yeah, no, DHT is the real stuff. All right, boys, look, if you need to hire me for coaching on TRT protocol redesigning, that's the bulk of my work. We'll redesign your protocol to get your libido and erection straight, to get side effects vanished. If you need to go on higher doses, I can guide you on how to tolerate higher doses of testosterone, because that might be what you need, whether it's for cosmetic purposes or otherwise. At any rate, you can hire me for any one of our packages, whether it's a TRT protocol design or a longer ongoing one-on-one coaching program at livecortex.com. As you see in the bottom left hand of the screen throughout the video, the source list is officially launched. So those of you that are like looking for a source for actual raw DHT, we have it. A vetted list of sources of testosterone of all esters, various types of HCG and amounts of HCG, Proviron and oral DHT, DHT gel, arctogenic agents, every peptide you can think of, cheaper than you could ever get it anywhere else. Vetted sources for all anabolics. It's called Source List, and you can get it right now literally at livecortex.com. And Torque Nootropic Stack, basically Adderall without the side effects. Very, very powerful, fast onsetting nootropic. 35% off. Code is on the screen and down in the description of this video. All right, brother, it has been an absolute pleasure hanging out with you. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you guys have a great week. Much more content coming soon, so look forward to that. Live stream this Saturday, 9 a.m., 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, so make sure you have notifications on. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. It makes a huge difference. Other than that, boys, I appreciate the time you've taken to watch this video, and I'll talk to you on the next one.